Madden 23 is genuinely a good game. I know some of you may be surprised to hear that, considering it is EA after all, but in today's quote-unquote good game, we're gonna be rebuilding my favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, for my first rebuild of Madden 23. But super quick before we get into today's video, as always, you guys easily hit the like goal on the last video, so let's up it to 50 on this one, and if we can hit that, I'll have a new video out by Friday. And of course, if you want to be an OG of this channel, be sure to drop a sub, because you know I can really feel this channel growing and I'm very thankful. And let's actually shoot for the funny number. Let's shoot for 420 subscribers. We can easily do that. I mean, we gain like 50 every video, but I just want to hit the funny number because I'm immature, so let's do that, okay? And there isn't actually a shout out for this video because nobody suggested this. I just decided to rebuild the Seahawks because they're my favorite team. Actually, let's shout out Sinclair Smith just for fun, just so I have a shout out. Go drop them a sub, their link will be in the description. And if you want a shout out just like that one, be sure to, of course, like the video, sub, and comment down below what team I should rebuild next. And if I go with your comment, I will give you a shout out and tell everyone to go sub to you. So, you know, it's kind of a win-win. I get subs, you get subs. It's a win-win deal, you know what I mean? But as always, I appreciate all the support lately. You guys are insane. It's fun to gain even more of you amazing viewers every video I make. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Hello everyone, it is Brandon the Simp here, and today we are doing our very first rebuild of Madden 23, and what better team to do than my personal favorite, the Seattle Seahawks. Now this is a rough team, I'm not gonna lie. However, I do think this team is slept on a little bit, and I don't love the dev traits in this game, so let me change them right now. There we go. But personally, I really do like what this team did in the draft. I loved the pick of Charles Cross. He looked like an absolute stud in his first preseason game, and I know it's a preseason game, but still. He was a monster of a pass blocker in college, so I'm a huge fan of him. I even really liked the Abe Lucas pick, and I believe the 3rd round. Bo Melton, I loved that pick. Kenneth Walker, I kinda hated that pick at the time, but now it makes a lot more sense, and he was arguably the best running back in the draft. I kinda liked Breece Hall a little more, but Kenneth Walker was like very close at number 2. I think he could be a monster here as well. And then looking at the defense here, I liked the Boye Mafe pick. I should give him a dev trait. He was also a player that looked very good in the preseason. I thought there were better pass rushers on the board for sure, but he is a very high upside, very athletic player. The Tyreek Smith pick I liked the Kobe Bryant pick, and Tariq Woolen has apparently looked like the MVP of the Seahawks camp so far, so I'm very excited about him. Because you gotta remember, if he hits, he has 4.2 speed, so he could be probably the best corner in the NFL, especially with his height. I'm not saying he will be, but if he hits, he could be. Obviously, the biggest question mark this year is, well, not even necessarily Drew Lock, but who is going to start? I think it is going to be Drew Lock. I think at this point, he's pretty overhated. It seems like as soon as players go to the Seahawks, they become very hated, I guess. I mean, look at Drew Lock, Jamal Adams, DK Metcalf. I mean, I don't know. But personally, I think Drew Lock will start, and I think he'll be decent. I don't think he'll be great by any means, but I think he'll be okay. Obviously, great receiving core. I just think this team has room to surprise, I guess I would say, because they have a lot of players with breakout potential. It is a very young, unproven team. But without further ado, let's get this rebuild started, and I will see you guys at the mid-season point of year number 1. Okay, so this is kind of weird. I didn't throw Will Dissly on the trade block, it just did that for me. And the only trade offers are each 2 players, no picks involved. Did they break the trade block? I swear they do some of this shit intentionally so you buy their game next year. Like, this is not realistic. Player for player trades do not happen that often. I mean, I know we just saw one a couple days ago with JJ Arcega-Whiteside and Ugo Amadi, but still, kinda weird. Okay, at the midseason point of year 1, we're actually doing kinda decent. We're sitting at 3-4. Now this division is weird. The Cardinals are leading the division. I think they're like the 3rd best team in the division. The Rams are only sitting at 2-4. The 49ers are 3-4. This is a weird division. It seems like Sim is even less realistic this year, but hey, what do I know? But we have a lot of upgrades here. This is what the upgrade screen looks like if you did not know yet. Sidney Jones goes up 2 overall. That's pretty nice. So it looks like slot still does give you a lot of man coverage. So yeah, quick tip for you if you didn't know that. But let's check out some re-signings here. I haven't seen the re-signing screen yet. Whoa. Okay, I have not seen a lot of the features in this game yet. I've been very busy as of late, and apparently there is re-signing interest. Puna Ford unfortunately doesn't have like any, it looks like. Same with Marquise Blair. A lot of players aren't interested in re-signing, unfortunately. But let's try to re-sign Sidney Jones. So what's the best thing to go with? Let's just try neutral to start off. And he does take it. Okay, cool. I need to figure out how this works, but I kind of like this. Rashad Penny, I'm going to offer him a team-friendly deal because I don't really need him back with Kenneth Walker. Let's see if he takes that. The length is bringing this offer way down. Well, let's just say your mother isn't worried about my length. And Puna Ford, it looks like we're going to have to offer him a player-friendly deal, but I'm very okay with that. Any future deal needs to account for my interests not being met here. What in the Harry Potter fuck? What does that mean? Okay, well, I'll worry about some of these other players later. I really need to figure out how this works. We had one hell of a collapse, only winning 2 more games in the second half of the season, finishing 5-12. Now that's about what I expect this team to do this year, so I can't complain too much, but Jesus, we got beaten in the second half of the year. Let's check out some of the stats on the year though. Drew Lock was not great, but not the worst. 4,000 yards, only 20 touchdowns, but also only 6 interceptions. So if those interception numbers were up, or no, not the interception numbers. If those touchdown numbers were up and the completion percentage was up, that would be a pretty good year. Rashad Penny had over 1,000 yards, but only 3.4 yards per carry. I'm definitely going to be giving the workload to Kenneth Walker next year. Tyler Lockett was our only receiver over 1,000 yards with 1,150 and 5 touchdowns. DK had just under 1,000 with only 3 touchdowns. D. Eskridge had 860 yards with 5 touchdowns. Noah Fant, 700 yards and 5 touchdowns. So more of a rushing team for sure, but even then not great at that, so I don't know. Ugh. Ew. So Charles Cross, Damian Lewis, and Abraham Lucas each let up over 10 sacks. Yikes. We might have to figure something out there. In terms of defense, I see something super interesting, but Cody Barton led the team with 141 tackles. Jordan Brooks had 115. Tackles for loss, we had a ton. Puna Ford had 22, which is unfortunate. We're probably going to lose him. Uchenna Nwosu had 18. Shelby Harris with 11. Darrell Taylor with 10. And in terms of sacks, this is the interesting thing. Uchenna Nwosu had 12 sacks on the year. That is one hell of a season. Shelby Harris had 6.5, and then it completely dropped off after that. Darrell Taylor only had 2 sacks on the year as a starting edge. That's disappointing. And then in terms of interceptions, Jordan Brooks led the team with 3. I mean, I'll definitely take that. I definitely want him to develop into a superstar linebacker. Artie Burns and Jamal Adams each had 2 interceptions, and then Cody Barton and Sidney Jones each only had 1. We had the worst offense in terms of yards in the NFL, and the 22nd defense. Yikes. MVP went to Tom Brady, which I just want to point this out if you didn't know already. He's the highest rated quarterback in the game. I mean, I get he's like the best quarterback of all time technically due to like accolades and shit, which are they're an overrated stat anyways, but in no world is he the best quarterback right now. Even if you want to go like best passing quarterback, that would definitely have to go to someone like Aaron Rodgers. Like, I just don't get it. I think Tom Brady's like 5th or 6th right now. And it's actually all quarterbacks up here. Did they change it to where it's only a quarterback award? I mean, that's kind of how it is in real life, to be fair. But still, that's interesting. Wait, Offensive Player of the Year actually goes to Cooper Kupp. Okay, I actually like what they did here. They made MVP a quarterback award, and then it looks like Offensive Player of the Year is more of a receiver/running back award. So Cooper Kupp wins Offensive Player of the Year. The updated faces are kind of weird. I'm not used to this. I swear they've kept the same ones forever and now they changed them. No Seahawks, unfortunately. Defensive Player of the Year, though, Nick Bosa wins that. Uchenna Nwosu comes in at number 9. I'm kind of surprised he's not higher. Jahan Dotson wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's super, super interesting. Kenneth Walker comes in at number 6 as our backup running back. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kayvon Thibodeau. I like the players up here. I could see this. Arnold Ebiketie, Aiden Hutchinson, not so much Brian Asamoah, but some of those are realistic. So I definitely like a lot of the updates in this year's game. I'm pretty happy with it. That is a weird Super Bowl. So in Super Bowl 57, the Colts smack the Packers. That's not super realistic. I do think those will be good teams. We have some upgrades here, just some depth pieces. But let's check out some of the re-signings we have left. Rashad Penny, I'm not going to bring back because we have Kenneth Walker. Poona Ford, I would like back. I just don't know what he wants. Okay, so I like the thing on the right. It says player motivations, close to home, South Carolina. This is literally about as far away as he could get from South Carolina, literally almost opposite sides of the country. Financial values, he's okay with it. Yeah, that I didn't read that right, but that sentence was still valid. In Super Bowl chase, Seahawks underdog, that is very fair. Let's try very player friendly. I would like him back. And he does take it. Okay, cool. So it's good to know if you do pay players enough money, they will come back. Let's re-sign Cody Barton. So he does have high interest. Let's offer him this. This is super team friendly, even though it says it's neutral. Okay, and he takes that. Artie Burns, he was good last year for sure. He's not super interested, so let's go a little player friendly. I'm fine paying him that much, and he takes it. Cool. I really like this, honestly. This is pretty cool. Drew Lock, I might re-sign him as a backup. I mean, that's not terrible backup quarterback money. He does have interest. I'll go more team friendly for sure. If he doesn't take it, it's not the end of the world. Okay, he doesn't take it. I'm fine with that. And I'm comfortable letting the rest of these players walk. I guess I'll re-sign Marquise Blair. He wants a more player-friendly deal. I'm good. Okay, so this is actually going to be my first ever look at free agency. I've seen little bits, but not much. So you do see an interest meter right here. Can you sort by that? Ooh, you can. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Kevin King wants to come here. That makes sense. He went to college at Washington. So there are actually some pretty good players interested in us, and actually some pretty good players in free agency in general. Let's look through here. I want to find some good players to come to our team. Okay, so here are my contract offers. So we're going to be going after Josh Allen as our biggest free agency signing. We are in the lead for him over the Cardinals. I don't know how this game works. Like, if you are the top offer, they will for sure sign with you. I mean, that would make sense because it takes into account where they want to play and how much money they get. I mean, if you're the top offer with all those things considered, you should theoretically get them because that's all things considered, but you never know. We are in the lead for Eric McCoy over the Jets. We need a new center after Austin Blythe left. He did play well last year, but he wasn't a good overall and he was a bit older. Brandon McManus, we're going to bring him in. Jason Myers, at least in real life, has been terrible over the past couple years, or at least the past year or so. So we're going to bring in a new kicker, one of the strongest legs in the NFL, in Brandon McManus. And finally, we're going to try and bring in Greedy Williams just to shore up our cornerback room. I don't fully know if we need him, to be honest, now that I think about it. But actually, yeah, we're not going to bring in Greedy Williams. I'm going to look for a different player. We are offering a pretty big contract to Elgton Jenkins from the Packers. It's about 19 per year for 4 years, I think it is. So that comes out to about 75, 76-ish mil. If I did the math right, I probably didn't. So we'll see how many of these players we can get. Let's find out. Okay, I don't see that any signed. I think how this works is they sign later, right? Oh no, they did sign, I just didn't see it. So yeah, we get Josh Allen, we get Eric McCoy, and we get Brandon McManus. That's pretty cool. We are losing to the Ravens now. I guess I can go more player friendly. I would be fine with that. We would have negative 5 mil in remaining cap. Maybe I can't do that. Will it let me do it is the question. It will let me do it, but should I do it is the better question. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? Let's see if we can get him. Okay, and he does sign with us. That's huge because our offensive line was pretty terrible last year. I do see Derwin James does have interest with us. I think it is too late. I think that's what that X means, but he did have interest. We just have literally no need for him. And we have 5th-year options. Who is this going to be? Jordan Brooks. It's already his 5th-year option? Good lord, how old am I? But yeah, I'll definitely pick that up. Let's take that. God, that makes me feel old. What? And just simply because I can, we're going to be offering Rashad Penny and Josh Rosen deals. They are team-friendly deals, so I'm not really No, I guess they will sign because we're beating the Broncos and we're the only offer for Josh Rosen. So they probably will sign, let's see. Obviously, a part of this video is to figure out how this game works, and that's going to be a lot of it for the next few videos I do because obviously I haven't seen a lot of videos about this game, so I guess we're kind of figuring out together. Also, this loading screen is sexy as hell. The only thing I don't like is it doesn't show you here, unless I'm blind, who accepted your deals. Okay, so we did get Rashad Penny and Josh Rosen. Let's check out some of the signings. So Derwin James goes to the Bears. Terry McLaurin goes to the Patriots. I could kind of see that. Tom Brady goes to the Eagles, replacing Jalen Hurts. That's super interesting. Mike Gesicki to the Cardinals, even though they have Trey McBride and Max Williams and Zach Ertz. Don't know about that one. Kareem Hunt to the Dolphins. I saw that happen a lot in last year's game. Levante David also to the Bears, so they're going to have a stud defense. Tremaine Edmonds also to the Eagles, along with Tom Brady. Kind of a fun free agency class. You know, I'm really kind of a fan of this new game. This is kind of cool. The thing I do not like about this game, however, is the trade offers. These are stupid. Why would they only offer players? I'm hoping this will be patched by the time the game is fully released, because there is not a single pick being offered here. Like, not even added onto the players. This doesn't make any sense. Why would they offer me Alec Pierce? They just drafted him. Like Troy Anderson, Foye Oluokun, Michael Carter. Both Michael Carters in that trade. That's super interesting. These are stupid trades, though. I'm hoping that'll get patched. Alright, and I didn't do any scouting because I don't know how it works this year, but this is going to be my very first look at the draft period. I don't think I've seen anything about this. That voice is freaking me out, I don't know why. But we have the number 5 overall pick. I like the top 5 here. Those are realistic teams. Other than the Vikings, I could see them being pretty good. Okay, this looks pretty similar. It does look pretty cool, though. I like the kind of smoke effect at the bottom, or the lighting effect. The only thing I see here, which is a complaint for me last year, is, well, A, it shows you what their archetype is, even if you don't have them fully scouted. Like, it'll show you physical for this receiver, for example, CJ Forbes, even though he's only 50% completed. And then on the right side, the very right, it shows you their passing stats for the quarterbacks, their catching stats for the receiver. I love that. They needed that last year. I don't know why that wasn't a thing, but I'm just glad it is this year. However, I don't know if I love this, to be honest. It tells you either A to C for impact block for this player, for example, Taylor Tuck, and B to D for run block. I would rather either have that fully scouted or not scouted at all, to be honest, because you really don't know what that means. Because, I mean, for example, in real life, like, there could be a player that is guaranteed to be, you know, a really good pass blocker, like, for example, with this team, Charles Cross, but his run blocking is a question mark. It shouldn't be a thing where there could be a chance that, you know, for example, his pass blocking ends up being better than his run blocking when he should have been a run blocker. Like, that doesn't really make any sense. Typically, if a player busts, it's because they're only good at one thing and everything else they suck at. It's not because this player was supposed to be a really good pass blocker. He ended up being an awful pass blocker, but he was okay at everything else. Like, that doesn't really happen ever. I don't know, that was a long ramble, but I don't know if I love that, but everything else about this seems pretty cool. But enough rambling. I think I'm going to go with Carl Barton here, unless there's like a better first-round QB down the board somehow. No, okay. Ooh, Carl Barton's already 23. Is there a younger option here? 22 for Kurt Stevens, 23 for Dwight Bryan. Let's actually go Kurt Stevens. So he's 6'1", 223, only 22 years old, out of Montana. That's a weird school, but okay. Has any good quarterback ever come from Montana? I don't think so. He ran a 4.79 at the Combine, which was third for quarterbacks, at least the ones that are left. And he was first in quarterbacks for bench reps with 23. Awareness, you love to see that. If you've seen one of my videos before, a good awareness awareness or for defensive players' play recognition is one of my favorite stats. It's a really good indicator of a good player. What's his throw power? He has great throw power. You love to see that. This looks like an amazing player. Let's take him. And he has normal. Fuck. I mean, he is fast. He is strong. He has good throw power. Kind of a mini Josh Allen, literally, because he is shorter than him. Yeah, just kind of a Walmart Josh Allen. But hey, he could turn into a good player. Here, I think I'm gonna go with, let's go Alex George. The other player does look better, but I think Alex George could have a dev trait. So he's 6'2", 309, only 22 years old, left-handed just like me, for real, out of Iowa. Ran a 5.01 at the combine, which is meh. He's a defensive tackle, you expect that. 35 reps on the bench. The thing I really like about him is the A power moves and B finesse moves, so he's a really good pass rusher. Also has B tackle, B play rec. I would guess his awareness is closer to B than D, but you never know. And the more I think about it, the more I actually do like the unknowns about them, I guess. Like the mysterious ratings, like it could be anywhere from a C to an F for block shed. I actually really do like that. So let's take him. And of course he does have hidden. Let's go. And I earned stud finder. Okay, that's the first one. I guess that is the first one I've done this year. So not terrible to get it in the first draft. But yeah, I completely forgot we had 2 first-round picks this draft. Unfortunately, this was 30th overall, so it looks like the Broncos did very well. But hey, at least we got a good player out of it. Okay, so here I'm gonna go Kirk Jones. He is a cornerback out of Wisconsin, only 21 years old. He's not super fast, running a 4.5 flat. He did run a 4.45 at his pro day, but I don't know, I kind of trust the combine more. The reason I like him is because he has B-man, C-zone, so he's at least decent at his worst coverage ability. I would prefer that he had better zone coverage than man because, you know, it's easier to upgrade man coverage in this game with the slot ability, but still. And he has B to D press, but I would guess that's B, or at least closer to B, considering he has B man coverage. And his awareness is A to C, so at least it can't be any lower than a C. So I think this is a decent player. Now that I said that, he probably won't be, but let's take him. And he does have hidden. Okay, cool. So I think that was a very good pick, especially considering he's only 21 years old. I definitely like that pick. So here is a recap of the draft, and honestly, the overalls this year might be juiced, or the CPU just picked very, very well for us. So our best player was Kirk Jones at a 75 overall. He ended up with 90 speed, which is about what I would have expected. I thought it would be like 89. Or no, 90 makes sense. Definitely better man than zone. He does have good press like I expected. It was about a B more than likely. Very good acceleration, but not good agility. Wearing Marshawn Lynch's number 24. Don't like that, but still. Looks like a very good player. Kurt Stevens ended up being a 74. That's actually decent. Very good throw power like I expected. What the hell is that haircut? What is it, 1945? What is that? That's ugly. He's a very good deep passer, which makes sense with his good throw power and good throw on the run. Not much of a runner with only 63 carrying, even though he does have decent speed and strength. Looks like a pretty good player though, already the 29th ranked quarterback in the NFL. Alex George is only a 73. I thought he would be a little better than that. Does have very good power moves, not very good finesse moves, even though they were a C. But yeah, 80 power moves, 77 tackle, 90 strength, solid speed too, better than I thought it would be. Looks like a good player. And the CPU picked some decent players. Jonathan Witherspoon is a physical receiver. Yeah, not much of a route runner, but good spec catch in traffic, not super fast. I was hoping they would pick a linebacker, and they picked a very good one. He is a very small linebacker at only 6 foot 227. Only 22 years old, has hidden dev, definitely a coverage linebacker, 90 speed. That's as fast as our corner. Ignore the cat if you heard that, but that's a very good player. I'm happy with that. So I don't know, let me know down below, are there just more good players in this year's game, or did I just get really lucky? And then it picked a receiver named Jerry Hill. That, again, a terrible haircut. What are these haircuts? He is very fast, definitely a deep threat. So I'm very happy with that draft class. We have already built a very, very good team. This is a look at the team going into year number 2, and I'm very happy with it. Obviously, the new quarterback, Kurt Stevens, looks very good at a 74 overall. Unfortunately, not quite a scheme fit, so he's not going to get XP as quick. If that's still a thing in this year's game, I'm guessing it is. I don't know why it still wouldn't be. But something weird is I have dev trait regression turned off. However, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett went down to star. I moved them back up to superstar clearly, but it was just weird that they went down. Let me see if it says anything here. Yeah, he went down to star dev in the staff week. Why? I have the dev trait regression off. I went and turned it on and then back off after I saw that, so hopefully that fixes it, but that's really weird. And it's not like they had bad seasons. I mean, they didn't have many touchdowns, but still. And then here's a look at the defense. This is just a very good team. The only question mark is our cornerback room. I think I'm gonna let's start Kobe Bryant, and then I'm gonna start Alex George as our right defensive end, and I think I'm gonna start this Maynard guy as our second middle linebacker. Cody Barton can be the 3. This is a very deep team. And I'm kind of realizing I might have went a little overboard with the dev traits on this team. I mean, it's literally almost all dev traits, but I feel like they're players that are fair to give those dev traits. They're all either high draft picks or players that are young with a lot of upside. Like Boye Mafe, Alton Robinson has shown very good flashes. Darrell Taylor has shown very good flash. Tyreek Smith was not a high pick, but a player that was projected to go higher than he actually did. Kobe Bryant was a highly regarded player. Trey Brown looked great when he played last year, and he was a decently high pick. Abe Lucas was a decently high pick. Like, I feel like these are justifiable. I don't feel like I really have to justify them, but I just want to explain myself a little bit. I do this for every team. It's not just me being biased for the Seahawks. I just give players that I think will be better in real life dev traits, because it's fun to me. I don't know why. Is this a direct opposite of how our division was doing last year? I guess not entirely, because we weren't second last year, but the Cardinals are the worst team in the division at 2-5. The 49ers, who I think were second worst, are at 4-2, leading the division. This is super interesting, but we're doing very well. We're sitting at 4-3. That's about what I expected, to be honest. I know I kind of say that every year, but, you know, I expected that. I'm just a genius, what can I say? Also, something I didn't mention is I didn't know there was a new archetype for receivers. There is now the playmaker, which caters to ball carrier vision, juke move, and break tackles. So it's, I guess, players like Deebo Samuel, Laviska Shenault, just run after catch receivers. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, looks like we're doing very well. Now, how about re-signings? Who do we have here? So Noah Fant, Uchenna Nwosu, Darrell Taylor, Gabe Jackson, Damian Lewis. Honestly, kind of a lot of players here. So let's start out with Noah Fant. He's the most important for sure. And he does want to come back. Let's offer him, let's try a team-friendly deal if he really does want to come back. Okay, we'll definitely up it. Uchenna Nwosu, we'll just offer him neutral, and he does take that. Okay, cool. He's been an amazing player for us. Darrell Taylor, oh, he's cheap actually. Okay, I'll try to re-sign him. It doesn't look like he wants to come back, honestly, but even paying him this. Ooh, we don't have enough cap actually. Ooh, that could be bad. Okay, we'll hold off on all these players. We might have to make some cuts in the offseason, but I'm confident I can get at least the important players here back. It looks like our rookie QB is doing all right. Only 10 passing touchdowns, which is meh, but only 4 interceptions, so kind of like not passing much, it looks like. Kenneth Walker's not doing great with only 3.6 yards per carry. Rashad Penny is 5.7 yards per carry. Do we move him back to the number 1? Not many passing touchdowns, or receiving touchdowns, I should say, and not much pressure, especially considering Uchenna Nwosu had 12 sacks last year, I think it was. He only has 2 this year, and only 2 interceptions. How is this team better than it was last year? We're 16 in offense, but we gotta remember some teams haven't played a game yet, and 19th in defense. Huh. Okay, well, we'll see how we finish. Alright, so we do miss the playoffs here, unfortunately, but we do finish 9-8, so that's a pretty good record. I kind of wish we either were in the playoffs or we did bad so we could have a higher pick. Okay, I was checking if the Rams were in the playoffs. If they were, I was going to be mad because they got a slight tiebreaker over us. But these are honestly kind of realistic playoffs, at least for the AFC. The NFC, Giants, Bears, I don't know about that, but the AFC teams are pretty cool. Wait, are those the exact same teams that were in the playoffs this last year? Titans, Chiefs, Bills, Colts, Raiders, Patriots, or no, the Colts didn't make it, and I don't know if the Steelers made it. I don't know. Either way, though, let's see how the team did this year. I saw Russell Wilson passed for 52 touchdowns. I hope that doesn't happen in real life, or else I will be sad. 4,000 yards for Kurt Stevens as a rookie, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I definitely think I'm going to do a playbook change. Kenneth Walker had 1,100 yards, only 3.8 yards per carry with 17 touchdowns, 400 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, and 9 touchdowns for Rashad Penny. DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett each had over 1,000 yards. Only 4 touchdowns for DK though, 9 for Tyler Lockett, 800 yards and 5 touchdowns for Noah Fant, 600 yards and 4 touchdowns for Dwayne Eskridge. Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to switch the playbook. The line was much better this year. Charles Cross let up 10 sacks, which still isn't ideal, obviously, but not bad. Elgton Jenkins, even though we were paying him like $20 million a year, let up 9 sacks as a right tackle. Not ideal, but not the worst. I really hope I can re-sign Damian Lewis because he only let up 4 sacks as a left guard, and Eric McCoy and Gabe Jackson were good. Ben Maynard led the team with 128 tackles, Jordan Brooks had 121, Kirk Jones had 104, Josh Allen, Alex George, and Shelby Harris each had 12 tackles for loss. Poona Ford had 11, and Shelby Harris had 0 sacks. Huh, okay. Josh Allen, okay, he is a player we paid who actually did well with 11 sacks. Darrell Taylor had 6, Poona Ford had 5. Uchenna Nwosu only had 3. Huh, okay. He did have 3 interceptions, though. I'm running a 3-4, right? I mean, in the game, for some reason, the Seahawks defense is still a 4-3 for whatever reason. It's not a 3-4, like their playbook. In real life, they're switching to a base 3-4, if you didn't know, and that's how their team is obviously laid out now, but for some reason, their playbooks aren't updated. So I changed them to a 3-4, but apparently, Uchenna Nwosu got a lot of interceptions. Sidney Jones also had 3, Quandre Diggs had 2, and a couple players had 1. So 29th for offense, not good. I'm definitely switching the playbook. Defense was 16th, so a mid defense. MVP goes to Russell Wilson. They were only 6-11 though, but he was very good. They must have had a terrible defense. Tom Brady on the Eagles was up there, also only 6-11. Apparently that ugly face scan is popular in this game. We're seeing it again with Dwight Bryant for the Giants. Dwight Bryant for the Giants. That's interesting. No Seahawks, unfortunately. Offensive Player of the Year again goes to Cooper Kupp, and then Christian McCaffrey up there again. Jarvis Landry on the Giants. No Seahawks up there. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Devin White, Mr. Overrated himself. I'm sorry, don't murder me. Wow, that really falls off at the end, Jesus. No Seahawks up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Carl Barton of the Lions. Kurt Stevens all the way down at number 5, sadly. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Brandon Bassey of the Saints. Kirk Jones at number 4. Apparently he had a very good year. And Ben Maynard at number 5. And Alex George at number 8. Okay, cool. We didn't have anyone win those awards, but we still placed pretty high. And in the Super Bowl, the Titans take down the Packers. That's kind of a weird one. But apparently the Packers are pretty good in this game. I mean, they're 0-2 in Super Bowls, and they got smacked in the first one. But, I mean, they've made 2, and that's a lot. They could have very easily won those Super Bowls, so I don't know, man. They seem like maybe a good rebuild team to go for. And we have some upgrades in the staff week. Oh, I thought these were gonna be awards. So it seems like upgrades in the staff week now are practice squad players rather than award winners, or good performers, I should say, because not all of them are award winners. But in terms of re-signings, let's see. I definitely want Noah Fant back. Let's offer him a neutral one. I mean, he rejected the last one, which was team friendly, but I think he would accept a neutral one. Okay, he does accept it. I like how this game is more clear cut. Like, it's easier to tell exactly what a player would do. Like, it tells you their interest. It tells you how likely they are to accept a contract. I really, really like this. This is the first Madden game where I would actually suggest buying it. Damian Lewis, ooh, we just don't have enough money. Let's go, did we offer him, have we offered him a contract yet? Let's go player friendly. Hopefully he takes that. Okay, he does take that, cool. And I think we're out of money. So no more Shelby Harris, but I was probably going to cut him anyways. Alton Robinson is gone, Colby Parkinson. Some players I do really like. I like Jake Curran, but in the game he's a bad overall. Darrell Taylor was one of our sack leaders, but he just isn't interested, and he wasn't good in the first year, and he is definitely replaceable. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do in free agency is cut Brian Monet. It's going to save us $5.9 million. I think he's a good player, and I think he's worth about that in real life. He's just not a great player here. And I can just go re-sign him in free agency if I really want to. Oh, there are some good players here. Why are these players here? Do teams just not re-sign players in this game? Like, these are some huge name players that would never hit the free agent market, like Justin Jefferson, Tristan Wirfs, Justin Herbert, Chris Jones maybe, because he is older, but like, nah, I don't know about that, man. The problem with how much money I am paying some of our players is I can't really afford anyone here now. We have $6.19 million in cap room. It took me a long time to figure out where it says our cap space, but it does say it in the top right under our head coach, which I'm realizing I forgot to set to my usual name because I'm stupid. So I don't know if I can really afford anyone major here. Well, I mentioned Laviska Shenault earlier when I was talking about the new archetype, so why not go out and get him? He was the best receiver in our price range with interest in playing in Seattle, which, you know, kind of makes sense. I mean, Colorado is close-ish to Seattle. I don't know why he's super interested in us. I guess it's a Pac-12 team, and I don't know, dude. But oh, it's because we are a playoff contender. Okay, cool. Good to know. But yeah, he would be a very good third receiver to add. There weren't many good D linemen, which was the next position I was looking for, so I just thought, why not go for a good third receiver? So our receiving core is deadly now, assuming we get him. And I don't think we're gonna. I spoke too soon. The Chiefs are offering him a contract, and he has more interest in their offer. Let me see if I can make any cuts. Okay, so we're going to cut Artie Burns. He was good for us in the first year, but we have younger players, and he is a bit older. It doesn't save us too much, but I'd like to have that money to spend elsewhere for sure. And I just cut a few more depth players, so let's see if I can get him now. All right, let's bump it up to... We can't do player friendly, or can we? Oh, we can do player friendly. Okay, so that'll put us firmly in the lead. And we actually have a little bit left over now. Okay, so we do get Laviska Shenault, and I just spent a little bit of money on Michael Jordan just because we literally do not have another guard other than Damian Lewis on our roster. And he was the only player with really any interest in us that wasn't over our price range or like 35 years old. So I guess that's something, even though I think he's one of the worst players in the NFL, I guess. Okay, so in the 2024 NFL draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars actually have the #1 overall pick. You know, I don't see them that much with the #1 pick, even though they are a really bad team. We have some weird teams in here, though. The Bucks, the Cardinals. I mean, the Bucks are kind of realistic. I mean, after Tom Brady retires, they do have a lot of older players on their team, so you never know. But we have the #17 overall pick, so about exactly the middle of the draft. But I want to check something. Okay, it does look like focus scouting works this year. I'm very happy with that. Because if you don't know, in last year's game, at least for me, unless I just didn't know how it worked, if you added a player to your focus scouting, most of the time it wouldn't fully scout them. Sometimes it would, but very rarely. Someone in my comments told me how to fix it. I didn't really understand what they were saying, or I tried to do what they were saying and I apparently did it wrong. I didn't know what the hell to do though. But yeah, I focus scouted Ben Rudd, a guard who is gone, so I don't know if it scouted them, but probably not, and then Pat Hooker. It didn't 100% scout them, but that's fine. I know I just went with a defensive tackle in the last draft in the first round, but Darren McLeod looks pretty good, and I don't really know what else to go with. He's 6'3", 314, 22 years old, left-handed just like me for real, out of UCLA. Ran a 4.9 flat at the combine, a 4.28 at his pro day at what was he, 314? That's pretty good. 33 reps on the bench. A lot of him is unknown, like his pursuit could be good, his hit power could be good, we just don't really know, but he has mostly Bs across the board for his guaranteed stats and then C finesse moves. I would guess like 76 power moves, 67 finesse moves, but let's take him. And he does have hidden, let's go. So obviously we picked him because, we lost Shelby Harris, and we need another defensive tackle. So now we have two make-believe defensive linemen, I guess you would say, and then Poona Ford. So we have a pretty good-looking D-line. And here, I'm going to go Ben Rudd. This guy looks really good. He's a projected 3rd to 4th round talent. I wish he was fully scouted, or I should say projected 3rd to 4th round player. His talent is unknown, but he's only 22 years old. He's pretty strong with 34 reps on the bench, good vertical jump for a lineman, and 20-yard shuttle and 3 cones, so pretty athletic. Oh, and he's even better than I thought he was. The only bad stat he has is pass block power and run block power, I guess, but that's fine. We run like a zone blocking scheme, that's fine. But he does have a impact block, which is weird considering he has bad power, and he also had good bench press. So it's weird he has bad power, but he looks like a very good player. I'm rambling a lot in this rebuild. I'm sorry, I just really like this game. Let's go Ben Rudd. And he has hidden, let's go. I'm a draft god. Okay, I found the first thing I really don't like in this game. For linebackers, the stats it shows are block, shed, pursuit, tackle, and zone coverage. I wish it would have a variation if a player's archetype was different. I kind of wish it would do that for every position. Like if they're a coverage linebacker, maybe man coverage, zone coverage, maybe something like awareness and pursuit, or tackle or play rec or something like that. For like a power rusher, block, shed, power moves, even finesse moves, even though they're not a power rusher, would still be helpful to know. And either tackle or pursuit or something, or awareness. For run stoppers, tackle, pursuit, block, shed, hit power or something. Like, it would be nice to know specific attributes for specific archetypes. Maybe that's a little nitpicky, but it would be pretty cool if that was a thing. Otherwise, I'm really hyped about this game, I'm not gonna lie. I actually do like this. Okay, I don't really know what else to go with, so I'm just gonna take a complete flyer on D. Barber. This is more than likely gonna be my last pick. He is unfortunately already 23 years old. Only ran a 4.49 at the combine. I do like his press though. He has a press. Could have good everything, so you never know. I don't think he will. He doesn't have good man, but he has okay zone. I just really don't know what else to go with, and he was the best looking player, so let's take him. He only has normal, 95 jumping. Damn. But he could be a decent player. Okay, so admittedly, I did take the rest of the picks in this draft. I just didn't show them because it would have taken forever. However, they are disappointing. I thought they were going to be higher overall, so I guess it doesn't matter anyways. Juan Cook had a dev trait, but he's only a 59 overall, so yikes. Our best player, however, was Ben Rudd. I figured he would be really good. I didn't know he would be quite this good. I thought he would be like a 70 because he does have pretty poor power, which is weird because he's strong, but he looks like a very good player. 89 strength, very balanced run and pass blocker, very good lead block and impact block, very good looking player. He'll be our starting right guard. And then Darren McLeod ended up being a 73 overall, so not too bad. I was very wrong with his pass rush moves though. He's not as good as I thought he would be in those regards. He is fast and strong though, so always nice. Hopefully he has a good dev trait. D. Barber was only a 68. I thought he'd be more like a 70, 71. So it looks like our first draft was very lucky. But yeah, this dude has an outstanding press with 78 as a rookie, so you love to see that. And then the rest of the players, even though they're not great, they do provide some good depth, so I'm happy that we took them. Alright, someone needs to tell me how the dev trait regression works. I have it turned off, but Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf both went down to star again. I need to put them back. But here is a look at the team going into the third and final year of the rebuild. This is a very good team. We're rolling with the Green Bay offense for this year just because I've seen them in the Super Bowl twice, and they would probably be a pretty pass-heavy offense. I don't know if that's just because of Aaron Rodgers, but still, this is a very good-looking team. Here's a look at the defense. Sidney Jones actually went up to a superstar. I think all of our rookies actually only had star, like Jones, Maynard, George, Wheaton. Yeah, literally every single one of them only had stars. So maybe Superstar and X Factor are pretty hard to get in this game. I don't know. But either way, this is a very good team, dude. We're sitting at an 85 overall. Jamal Adams also went down to a star. I noticed that. So I'll fix all the dev traits again. Oh, and also, I have only disconnected once. I couldn't tell if it was Wi-Fi or not, but it was when I was simming between the end of year number 2 in this season, so just like a few minutes ago, which is where it normally disconnects, but it didn't do that in the first year, so it seems like the disconnection issue may be fixed, which would be very nice. But yeah, overall, the offensive line is looking amazing. Obviously, only 2 actual Seahawks here, which that's not surprising. The Seahawks aren't exactly known for their good offensive lines. Receiving core is amazing, especially when I fixed the 2 star receivers dev traits. Noah Fant has been doing great. Kurt Stevens hopefully will do better this year. The running back room is great. Not performing well, but they are good overalls. The pass rush duo of Uchenna Nwosu and Josh Allen, not Jonathan Allen, is great. Linebacking core is great. Everything on this team is great. The only thing I don't love is the corner group and the defensive line, but they do have a lot of upside. So let's get to the midseason and hopefully we are doing well. All right, well, the more things change, the more things stay the same. At the mid-season point of year number 3, we are unfortunately 3-4. Let me just check real quick though. So we're in 86 overall. Where does that compare with the rest of the NFL? So the Saints are worse, the Ravens are 1 overall better, the Rams are much worse, the Raiders are the same overall, Panthers are the same overall, Eagles are the same overall, Cowboys are the same overall, Chiefs are better. Okay, I mean, honestly, almost every team is either a little worse or as good or slightly better than us. So honestly, I'm kind of okay with this. I may need to lower the XP sliders because every team is really, really high, but I'm not mad with this. I'm not mad at being 3-4 because every team is close to us. Yeah, I definitely think I will lower some of the XP sliders. Okay, so super quick before I reveal how we did in the 2025 NFL season, be sure to drop a like and a sub down below. It takes you like 2 seconds. You can undo both at any time if you really want to, and it helps me out a ton. Plus, you can be an OG of my channel if that matters to you, which, you know, hey, I'm not ashamed to admit that it's fun to be an OG of some things. Again, let's see if we can hit 50 likes and 420 subs, because funny. And comment down below what team I should do next. I'm trying to go extra hard for Madden 23. Of course, if you didn't know, I was sick. I think I already said that, but yeah, I got really sick, of course, right at the very start of Madden 23, so I couldn't make any videos. My luck sucks. But yeah, here's a look at the team. Rudd unfortunately only has star dev. McLeod only has star dev, so yeah, it looks like we only got star devs this entire rebuild for our rookies. Jones has an upgrade that's pretty important. He's been a very good player for us, up to an 83 overall as our number 2 corner. +1 speed, that's pretty cool, 91 speed now. This is a really good team. Stevens is playing up to an 81 with morale. DK is up to a 96 with morale. Noah Fant, 89. Jamal at a 94. Josh Allen at a 91. So a big thing I'm noticing in this game is they're not as generous with giving dev traits to players in the form of like breakouts and stuff like that, or at least like, you know, just dev ups at the end of the year. And they're not as generous with players having better than a star dev in drafts, unless I'm just really terribly unlucky, which is very possible because I have pretty awful luck. But let's see how this team did this year. And we finished 9-8, winning the division and making the playoffs. But here we're taking on the dangerous team. We're taking on the Green Bay Packers. We have some upgrades here, just some depth players. But let's check some of the season stats this year before we inevitably lose to the Packers. So Kurt Stevens was very good. 5,000 yards, 36 touchdowns, only 10 interceptions. Kenneth Walker was not great. Just over 1,000 yards, only 3.7 yards per carry, 7 touchdowns. We were very pass heavy though. 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns for Tyler Lockett. 1,200 yards for Laviska Shenault. I thought that was DK Metcalf. I didn't look. And 11 touchdowns. Good thing we're not in New York with those receiving touchdown numbers. DK Metcalf with 1,269 yards. Nice. And 6 touchdowns. Noah Fant with 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. Blocking, still not good at all. Charles Cross and Elgton Jenkins each let up 11 sacks. I regret paying Elgton Jenkins like $20 million a year. Damian Lewis also let up 9 sacks right after I paid him. But Eric McCoy and Ben Rudd did well. Ben Maynard led the team with 110 tackles. Tackles for loss, Darren McLeod as a rookie had 20 tackles for loss. Alex George had 13, so I'm very glad I drafted both of them. In terms of sacks, Josh Allen had 13. Uchenna Nwosu had 7.5, so pretty good. Darren McLeod had 6.5, and Alex George and Poona Ford each had 5. So all of our starters did relatively well. In terms of interceptions, Sidney Jones led the team by quite a few with 4, and then a number of players each had 1. We were 9th in offense in terms of yards and 2nd in defense. We had a very good defense. I believe I'm using Pittsburgh. Dak Prescott wins MVP here. Interesting. The Eagles replaced Tom Brady with Lucas Lawrence, and apparently he did well. Kurt Stevens comes in at number 7 for MVP, so you love to see that. Cooper Kupp for the 3rd year in a row, or I guess technically 4th year in a row, wins Offensive Player of the Year, if you count real life. That's crazy. Zeke number 2, any Seahawks? No Seahawks. Wait, our quarterback wasn't up? Oh yeah, this is a more running back and receiver-centered award, never mind. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Bosa. Josh Allen all the way down at 10, I thought he would be a bit higher. Jay Felton of the Bucks wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, sorry. No Seahawks, and Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Demarius Boner, or Bonner if you're mature, but I say it Boner because I'm funny, I guess, of the Falcons at an 84 overall. Darren McLeod at number 4. I'm surprised he's not higher with 20 tackles for loss, and no other Seahawks. So pretty good year, all things considered, especially considering we only went 9-8 with the number 9 offense and number 2 defense. I don't know how that works, but maybe we can do some damage in the playoffs here. I see there are some terrible teams in the playoffs here. It looks like the Bears at 7-10. How did they make it? The Eagles. Whoa, hold on. Is that right? Yeah, that is right. The entire NFC was awful. The best NFC team was 11-6. The next best was 9-8. Well, I guess no, there was a first round bye, but still, that's disgusting. But let's see if we can take down the Green Bay Packers. I highly doubt it, but let's find out. And we do not, unfortunately. That's to be expected. The Packers are very good in this game. But let's take one final look at the team just to close this video out. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like, sub, and comment down below what team I should rebuild next. And let me know what you thought of today's video, because all those things help me out more than you could imagine, and I would appreciate if you did that. But expect me back on my regular schedule. I just got very busy for the past month. I had 3 vacations in 2 weeks, I think it was, and then I got sick right after, so that's why I only uploaded like once or twice a week. But I should be back on my regular schedule starting now, as long as nothing else happens, knock on wood. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'm very excited for this game. This game seems very fun, and it makes me realize how terrible last year's game was. Like, this is just a direct improvement. Other than the dev trait thing, they need to fix that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys again in the next video. Goodbye.